welcome to Learn with Sprayberry, where we make social studies fun, easy, and educational. Today we're going to cover the 4 causes of World War I. I'm doing this without a script, so let's see how good my memory is. So, your causes for World War I can be summarized with one word of 4 letters: Main. Let's kick it off with the first letter: militarism. Many nations, especially in the early 1900s, felt that the only way to demonstrate superiority was to have an extremely advanced military. And to accomplish that, they dumped a lot of money into weapons research, and they dumped a lot of money into building up an army. The positive is, yeah, you have a pretty advanced army and nobody wants to mess with you. But the downside, when you only have one real advantage for your country, you're more likely to use it to solve every problem. Think about it. If you only have one tool in your cabinet, a hammer, you're going to try to use that one tool to solve every construction issue you have in your house. You don't have a screwdriver? Well, just nail the screw into the wall. It'll work fine, right? The same idea happens with the military. Somebody's causing you a problem, send in the military. They'll solve the problem, no issues. Our next cause, alliances. In the early 1900s, we have everybody watching everybody's back. And that causes some serious problems. A lot of these alliances are from the late 1800s, so they've been around for a while, but nobody's really relied on them until the war gets kicked off. And once it does, if the person whose back you're supposed to be watching gets in a fight, it drags you in, which drags in everybody who's supposed to be watching out for you. So alliances drag people in who don't necessarily even have a reason to be involved in the fight. Up next, I. That stands for imperialism, also isolationism, but let's go with imperialism first. Imperialism is when a large country attempts to colonize smaller countries who have oftentimes resources that the large country needs. We see that a lot in early 1900s. England had pretty much colonized anybody they could get their hands on. Germany had done a little bit, Austria had done a little bit, France, Spain, everybody had colonies around. But part of the problem is that a lot of these colonies didn't necessarily want to be colonies of these large countries. So they start to fight back. They start to push for their own independence. That starts to cause some conflict, which when you mix it with the militarism and the alliances, starts dragging people into battles. And you can see that's going to be a problem. The other part of the I is isolationism. Those people, those countries who could have helped prevented the war tended to stay to themselves. That's why they weren't necessarily drug in at the beginning. The United States was isolationist. We didn't want to get involved in Europe until we absolutely had to. And at the last minute, we ended up having to, thanks to, Germany and all the causes that got us there. And our last one is nationalism, which is a love of your country. Before I get the comments, nationalism is not necessarily bad. Nationalism and loving your country can be a good thing, but it is bad when it blinds you to the problems your country causes, okay? You need to be able to recognize when your country does things right, yay, and when they do things wrong, boo. So, in America, we tend to think of nationalism as having that pride in the American spirit, pride in the ability to do anything, think anything we need to. But that pride can cause a problem when it leads you into conflict with other countries, other nations, other groups. Because if you can't recognize the mistakes your country makes, you're going to follow them right down that road. And too much nationalism means that people don't call out their leaders when they need to. So short, sweet, and simple, we got 4 causes of World War I. Militarism, building up your army, and unfortunately using it maybe when you don't need to. Alliances, once you use that army and you start a war, everybody's got to come in and watch your back. Imperialism, you've started some fights because of all of your colony building. And isolationism, the guys who should be out there helping you aren't because they're trying to stay out of it. And then finally, nationalism. Blind patriotism and blind love of your country, ignoring whether or not you really need to be involved in this war. Question of the day: do you see any of those things floating around in the modern world? Do we see an abundance of militarism, alliances, imperialism, or even, dare I say, nationalism in today's world? What do you think those are going towards? Let me know down in the comments below. And this week we do have a subscriber of the week. I'm trying to remember who it was. I believe it was Ashlyn. Ashlyn, thanks for watching. Ashlyn actually is a subscriber on Instagram, so that's how she gets notified of new videos. If you want to be notified / be a subscriber of the week, then you got to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Instagram, and you can follow me here on YouTube. For Twitter and Instagram, it's Sprayberry Teaches. For YouTube, it's, you know how to get here by now if you're watching this. All right, well, once again, thanks for watching Learning with Sprayberry, where we make social studies fun, easy, and educational. Heh.